At the entrance to the expanded BMO Centre is a 70-foot-high, 50-foot-wide sculptural beacon. It's a new landmark for Stampede Park in the Culture and Entertainment District, and an unforgettable new piece of public art for Calgarians. Meet Spirit of Water.
The Spirit of Water has an enigmatic quality. You know, it's a splash, but it's made out of tubes of steel. It's got a sort of mystical quality to it, but it's also, well, exactly what is it? It's blue, and I think that's what makes it special. And this is an aquatic blue. This is a blue that really, for me, states the sculpture. It's Spirit of Water blue, that's what we're calling it. It's got the right shimmer, it's got the luster, and it really works within the confines and yet the exuberance of the piece. And I think that's important for me.
The expanded BMO Centre is a gathering place the way that the banks of the Bow have been a gathering place for thousands of years. Spirit of Water represents a long history of gathering on Stampede Park and will serve as a new gathering place for the BMO Centre, facilitating connections and gathering community together.
I was thinking at the time what it is I wanted to say, and I took on water because that was a very important, well, that is a very important thing. It's universal. It's something we all need, we all relate to, we connect with. And also water has a lot of energy, but it also has a stillness about it. And it can take on so many different shapes. And I think it was just a perfect piece and a perfect element to harness all of that together. And also it has a relationship with the river bends, with Alberta.
Much like the architecture of the BMO expansion, Spirit of Water represents the forms of the area's geography and the spirit of the Calgary Stampede, the rivers, the rodeo, the midway, and community spirit.
Well, the building itself is huge, sweeping forms, and engages with people. You can come into it to the conference centre, you can walk past it. The sculpture is a sort of a beacon for the place. It sits really well within the architecture because it's got its own shimmer, and I like that about it, and I think that plays well with the architecture.
So as the development manager for the BMO Centre Expansion, CMLC and our partners at Calgary Stampede and the City of Calgary worked to look at how the public art process would be developed. It started with a request for qualification, or RFQ, and went right through into an RFP. We had 218 artists or artist groups submit from all over the world, and that list was taken down to 39 that was presented and reviewed by a volunteer jury committee. Of the 6 that were identified by the jury, they were invited to submit detailed concept proposals, and after 14 hours of deliberations, Gerry Judah, Spirit of Water, was selected as the successful installation that would be brought to the BMO Centre Expansion.
The Calgary Stampede's Public Art Committee was created in 2008 with the mandate to reach out to the community at large and retain our Western heritage and values. When past President George Brookman introduced the Public Art program, he said, "Public art helps us remember our past, honor our ideals, express our shared values, and give voice to our future aspirations."
I think a big consideration in the selection of art for the BMO Centre Expansion was looking at not only an artist that has the experience and understanding of a site like this, it was also an understanding of the relationship of the scale of the building and how the art responded to that. It was a relationship between the design of the building and how the art would respond to that. And then also, really importantly, how it fit within the context of Stampede Park and the identity of Stampede Park, the 10-day festival, what it looks like when it's adjacent to Flames games and as the Culture and Entertainment District builds out, and then ultimately on a broader level to Calgary as well.
Great pieces of art, for me, always has been about how it plays with light. And sculptures particularly do that. And this is a sculpture that will take on light on any form, whether it's sunlight, whether it's uplight. It's got so many shadows, so many light places. The top of it will sparkle because the edges will create this beautiful rim light. I'm looking forward to that.
Spirit of Water employs over 100,000 pounds of steel, over 200 tubes, and more than 1,000 bolts. It's a small miracle that it looks so light. It's also a lot of science.
So it has to be buildable, it has to be affordable, it has to look good.
I work very collaboratively. Yes, I have a concept idea, but I could never do it without the help of other people, engineers, fabricators, and so forth. It's a huge amount of collaboration, not just the shape, but how we execute it. Because the thing with sculptures that can actually turn out to be very banal if you're not careful. And here was something that I wanted to be very, very unique and exciting. So there's a huge amount of collaboration.
I start doing some modelling and sometimes do a bit of analysis, structural analysis. And so we play around with shapes because it's obviously the aesthetics are pretty important to how the whole thing works. The first thing to do is to make sure it stands up. So we have to build an analysis model, which is a simplified shell model. And then what we do is then we check it for self-weight, we check it for natural frequency, which is an important consideration. We check it for wind loads, and obviously in Calgary, snow loads are very important. And also thermal loads as well, because it gets very cold, and that can actually change the shape of the piece. So we do the analysis, we figure out what size tubes we need, how thick the walls need to be. The tubes towards the middle that are doing most of the work are very thick, and the tubes towards the outside, they can be very, very thin because all they're doing is supporting themselves.
And I think it has a universal quality about it. And that's, for me, very exciting because it's not a parochial piece of sculpture. It's not even international, it's global. And the issues are global. And in a way, it engages people to think about water and how you react with it, the excitement of it, and the necessity of it. And I hope that people get that from it when they encounter it.
CMLC has been fortunate to be involved with some really exciting public art projects in Calgary over the last number of years. It's included temporary installations through to permanent installations on places like the Central Library. And this is an addition to that. It's adding to the identity of the BMO Centre, Stampede Park, and the Culture and Entertainment District, but Calgary's public art identity as a whole, which is really exciting, and it's a great opportunity to welcome another artist into the city and a great installation that will be part of its identity moving forward.
Spirit of Water joins a distinguished and inspired collection of public art at Stampede Park in the Culture and Entertainment District. It's a sculpture, a gathering place, and a proud symbol for a city of possibility.